What if I told you that one U.S. state was once its own country, not a colony, not just a territory, a full, independent nation with its own president, army, and flag? That state is Texas. In the 1800s, Texas wasn't just another piece of land on the map. It was a battlefield, a republic, a frontier, a place of cowboys, revolutions, and dramatic turning points that helped shape the United States forever. Today, we use AI to bring that world back to life, to reconstruct Texas in the 1800s as if we were truly there. This is why Texas was one of the most unique places on Earth in the 19th century. In the early 1800s, Texas didn't belong to the United States. It was part of Mexico. At the time, Mexico had recently gained independence from Spain. Texas was wild, sparsely populated, and far from Mexico's central government. To help settle the land, Mexico allowed Americans to move there. One of the most important settlers was Stephen F. Austin. He brought hundreds of families into Texas. But there was a problem. The American settlers and the Mexican government began to clash over laws, slavery, religion, and political control. Tension grew, and soon it would explode. In 1835, settlers rebelled against Mexico. This became known as the Texas Revolution. The most famous battle? The Alamo. In 1836, a small group of Texan defenders held off the much larger Mexican army for 13 days. Among them were legendary figures like Davy Crockett and James Bowie. They were ultimately defeated by Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. But their sacrifice became a rallying cry. Remember the Alamo. Just weeks later, General Sam Houston led Texan forces to a surprise victory at the Battle of San Jacinto. Santa Anna was captured. Here's what makes Texas truly unique. From 1836 to 1845, Texas was its own country. It was called the Republic of Texas. It had its own president, its own army, its own currency, its own flag. Sam Houston became its first elected president. Very few U.S. states were ever independent nations. Texas wasn't just different. It was sovereign. But being independent wasn't easy. The Republic struggled with debt, border disputes, and threats from Mexico. Eventually, Texas decided to join the United States. In 1845, Texas officially became the 28th state of the United States. But Mexico still disputed the border. This disagreement led to the Mexican-American War. The war ended with a massive victory for the U.S. As a result, the United States gained huge territories in the West, including California, Arizona, and New Mexico. Texas played a central role in triggering that expansion. Its annexation helped reshape the entire map of North America. After the Civil War, Texas became the heart of the cattle kingdom. Millions of longhorn cattle roamed the plains. Ranchers drove cattle north along famous routes like the Chisholm Trail. Cowboys spent months on horseback, facing storms, river crossings, and stampedes. Cities like Fort Worth became major cattle hubs. This is where the image of the American cowboy was born. Wide-brimmed hats, boots, spurs, open land. Texas became the symbol of the Wild West. In 1861, Texas joined the Confederacy in the American Civil War. It supplied soldiers, cattle, and resources to the Southern cause. After the war ended, Texas went through Reconstruction like the rest of the South. But one thing remained constant: its fierce sense of independence. In the 1800s, Texas was a frontier, a battlefield, a republic, a state, and the birthplace of the cowboy legend, It changed flags. It fought wars. It stood alone as its own nation. That's why Texas isn't just another state in American history. It's one of the boldest, most dramatic stories of the 19th century. And even today, that independent spirit still defines Texas. Texas still stands strong, and civilization and industrialization has taken over.